Everybody knows what your name is, but what's mine?
Taylor Trash.
There we go. And that wasn't prompted at all, was it, Michelle?
It was not. I knew.
It's time for some sweet tea with TT, exclusively for Loverboymagazine.com. Thank you so much for joining us today to speak to Loverboymagazine.com.
Thank you for having me, Taylor.
Well, we're so happy to speak with y'all ahead of your wonderful show opening at the Suffolk Playhouse Elephant. What can you tell us about Scissorhands that might surprise us?
Edward Scissorhands, the film, is a cult queer classic for many, many reasons. There was compassion, there was the misfit element, and I think that they do an incredible job of capturing the essence of all of that in the musical Scissorhands. However, Edward Scissorhands has quite a sad ending. And with Scissorhands, it is a roaring good time, but it also has a very different ending, which is uplifting. So I think everybody will love it. And of course, the music is incredible with hit songs from all your favorite artists.
We have Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, Alanis Morissette, just some of the artists featured on the soundtrack. Out of those three artists, who would be your dream duet?
I'm definitely a monster.
I think the gates might explode if you did a duet with Gaga.
I would explode if I got a chance to do that with Gaga. She's such a spectacle to watch and to look at. And she manufactured that herself. You know, that's always been what she's about. But I think she is grossly underrated as an actual artist. Not only can she sing and sings live all the time, but she's there playing that piano, like stomping on it with her hands and feet and still being able to sing. I just love her so much.
Can we expect any Mariah?
Well, you will have to go see to find out.
Lambs Online once said that you and her brother had dated once. Did you ever get to meet her at all?
I did date her brother, Morgan. And Mariah's mother, Patricia, the late Patricia, was my vocal coach.
No way. That's amazing.
I know. And I met Morgan by accident in Los Angeles. Spoken to him a few times when Mariah was at the house. And I've known Mariah over the years just from interviewing her as a radio presenter. Yeah. And I love her. I'm a lamb.
Is it gay anthem after gay anthem? Like, what other music can we expect to hear on the soundtrack?
It's song after song that everybody's going to know and love. So when you hear it, you're like, oh my God. And then you hear another one, oh my God. Listen, when you go see a new musical and you don't know the cast recording before and you just go see it, you can't sing along. When I go see new shows, that's my barometer. If I leave the show humming a song, that's a success for me. So the good thing about this show is you leave and you want to listen to the songs over and over again because they are all hit after hit after hit.
How did you first get involved in the project?
Bradley Bredeweg, the producer and the director, is an old friend of mine. And he said, you're such a fan of it. Would you be interested in producing? And I did not think twice. And then, of course, my friend Lance Bass is also producing. So we just loved it so much. We wanted to be a part of it. And that's how it happened.
Can we expect to see more Michelle Visage collabs like this in the future?
I would love to. Theater is my passion. I love it. To be a part of producing magical moments for the stage. I love young talent and I love seeing them do what they love to do and what they've trained so hard for. I spent my whole life training for the theater. So seeing these kids walk that same path and be able to do what they love to do is a gift. And then to be able to be a part of it is like, yay. Like, again, it's that mommy energy that I think I've always had.
Would you say that that was a driving force to make you put the producer hat on then?
Absolutely. I produce on Drag Race as well. So for me to be able to lift up and get excited for these kids to create this magical piece of art is exciting for us behind the scenes as well, because you know that you can have confidence in knowing what's being put out there is going to entertain the masses. When you get involved in something, the intention is always for it to be a success. I don't know anybody who gets involved in anything and says, I hope this fails. So, you know, it's kind of a beautiful moment. It's like those golden buzzer moments on everybody's favorite talent television shows when you see somebody at their best. Right there in that moment, they are realized that that is their best. Not that they can't get better, but that's the moment. And that's kind of a moment everybody deserves in life. So if I can be a part of facilitating that a few times over, then I am the lucky one. It's not all about me, Taylor.
But it's so true and it's so right. And I wish that more people would operate like that because, you know, the thing is what you're doing is you're actually paying it forward. you're sharing your platform and the opportunities that you might have access to others who may not have that access immediately. And that's such a beautiful thing. It's such a gift to be able to share that.
I agree. It is a gift to be able to share it. And you know what? We only live once. And as we see, the world is on fire. Life is crazy. We have to figure out how we can be more than just self-absorbed. And the more we pay it forward, the more we live in aid of others, not just ourselves, is how you really get the most out of this world. I can lay my head down at night knowing what I did today is going to help a bunch of people. You know, some of us try in any way that we can. And I like to help with the arts if I can and help lift queer voices.
Do you see any parallels between your career celebrating the unconventional and Tim Burton's love for outsiders?
Oh, my goodness. Absolutely. I think that's why I've always been drawn to Tim Burton's work and a lover of all things different and twisted and macabre. And I think, again, that's why it's always a safe space for queer people, because there is a feeling of being understood. Our Scissorhands is non-binary, Jordan Kybernet, and they are wonderful. And they kind of have that same pull that Johnny Depp did. You know, you want to protect this person who has been cast aside, and you want to give them hugs, and you want to let them know that they're loved and they matter. It's always been an important message. It's something that I think we forget in humanity when we're too busy canceling people or telling people how horrible they are or telling people they should die and whatever people are doing out there. It's a message we need to go back to, which is you are heard, you matter, just for who you are.
This is the reimagining of the Tim Burton classic story. It's not straight from screen to stage.
No.
What does he think of the retelling?
Obviously, they had to get the go-ahead to do it. But knowing Tim Burton's world and, you know, his point of view, I think he absolutely would love this.
Were you tempted to make a cameo in the show?
I'm open to anything if it makes sense, and this makes complete sense. However, the dates did not align. I can go to any theater show and be like, what role would be the role for me? That's how I watch theater, just because I'm a theater junkie.
Would you have been Joyce?
I would love to be Joyce. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Absolutely. We can see y'all with the nails.
Yeah, the nails, the hair.
The hair.
A really bad attitude.
You wouldn't do her from New Jersey?
You know, I could. Look, everything I do, even my really bad Sheffield accent, had a twinge of New Jersey in it. Everything I do has just a touch of Jersey in it.
It's like the London accent. You can't get rid of it.
Exactly. When you're trying to be Southern, that London accent just pops on in, doesn't it?
Slides on through. How fierce are the costumes on the production? Are we talking like Edward meets the Met Gala here, or?
You kind of have to. If you're hanging true to the original, the costuming was so fabulously whimsical and 50s, and the set design is gorgeous. Abby Clark did gorgeous costuming. I think you're really, really going to love it.
If you could replace Edward's Scissorhands with something else entirely, what would it be?
Well, you can go different ways with this, can't you? Use your imagination. I think it really depends on the mood you're in. You could change it with pizza. You can change it into curling irons. You could change it into butt plugs, whatever your freak is. I think it depends on the moment.
If Scissorhands were a fragrance, what would it smell like?
I would imagine there's some leather in there, maybe some rust, maybe topiary, maybe a little bit of barbershop.
On a scale of 1 to this is the campest thing ever, how camp is Scissorhands?
The camp level is RuPaul's Drag Race level.
If Edward competed on Drag Race, what challenge do you think they would have excelled at?
It's a good question. Probably a costume challenge with scissors for hands, right?
We'd hope so.
You would think, cutting out fabrics. You would hope.
Do you think if Edward could give RuPaul a makeover, what would you imagine the final look would be?
Frightening. Really frightening. But we would love it because Ru would do it. Ru would rock it, that's for sure.
Finally, Michelle, would you be able to sell this show to me in 5 words or less?
Gay, camp, safe space, music, extravaganza.
And what would you rate my American accent out of 10?
3.
3? Thank you so much. Take care.
See you soon. Bye, Taylor.
Goodbye. Y'all come back now, you hear?